Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Emil Tarazi, and I'm the co-founder and chief data scientist at ETFLogic. And up here on stage with me is my colleague, Lindsay Toole, our head of sales, who helped me out with the demo today. So what is ETFLogic? We are a quantitative tools platform and alternative data provider for the financial industry. And we are bringing a new and unique level of transparency to exchange-traded funds.
If you don't know what an ETF is, chances are you're probably already invested in one or more. ETFs have revolutionized the way that investments are managed. And because of this, the ETF market is booming, with over $5 trillion in assets growing at a rate of 22% per year. And this growth is only going to continue, mainly due to new regulations that have leveled the playing field and lowered the barriers to entry for many new issuers. Oh yes, and Moody's is predicting that in the next 5 years, passive investments will take over active investments. So of course, with all of this growth comes a cost. Intense competition amongst ETF issuers forces down costs to the benefit of a select few in the industry. So ETF issuers must diversify their offering by offering more innovative, yet increasingly complex funds.
That's right. And investors need to navigate this complexity. They need to understand the costs and the risks involved in trading ETFs. ETF issuers need to promote the benefits of their products. So as you can see on the ETFLogic platform, just click All Apps, you see we've built a suite of tools that help navigate this complexity. But for the purposes of this demo, let's focus in on 3 key problems that the industry faces. Number 1, understanding ETF costs. Number 2, dissecting ETF risk. And number 3, helping ETF issuers attract and retain assets. So Lindsay's on the ETFLogic platform here, and we're going to navigate to the first app, True Cost Trade Estimates. She's going to enter ticker SDY, which is a dividend-focused ETF. She wants to buy $10 million of this fund. The next page, we gather all the little bits of information that you need before you do this trade. We provide you trade guidance. We have a cost range estimate at the top right. And most importantly, we look at the fair value of the fund on a historical basis. The fair value is the underlying intrinsic value of the fund and where it's traded historically. Why is this important? It's important because we're bringing together our cost estimates for multiple venues and displaying it into one location. The curves at the bottom show you our trade estimates for varying trade sizes, and the green curve is what we call true liquidity. So once we're satisfied with cost, we can do a little deeper dive with risk. We have an app we call Transition Analysis, and this allows us to look at portfolio risk when moving from one portfolio to another or one ETF to another. So Lindsay's focused in on 2 small cap ETFs. The one at the top is a value fund, and the one below has a revenue factor tilt. So we're moving out of one and into another. The moment she hits apply, we gather data sets from dozens of sources. We crunch the numbers for you. The number on the left shows you the performance differential between these 2 funds. And this contrasts with the number at the top right, which shows the expense ratio or management fee differential between these 2. So essentially, the second fund is a little more expensive than the first. And this highlights one of the key problems that ETF issuers face. People might overlook the second fund because it's just slightly more expensive. But in reality, its performance would have easily paid for that. In addition, we highlight trading costs of doing this switch trade. And you'll note that there's over 250 common components between these 2 funds. So leveraging this information can help you get into a lower cost trade. There's a lot more stats and analytics on this page. We have performance profile, sector and industry, differentials. But let's jump down to the factor analysis. The factor analysis we do is unique because we look at beyond what's on the label of these 2 funds. What we can glean from these numbers is that the value exposure is actually quite similar. And if you recall, only the first fund had value in its name. The second fund did not. So the moral of the story here, if you're looking for value, look beyond the label. So let's recap what we've just seen. Our true cost tool estimates the cost to trade before you do a trade. And our transition analysis tool looks at risk of an ETF in your portfolio.
So the last question is, how do we help issuers and advisors attract and retain assets? And the answer is, we leverage the ETFLogic platform that we've just shown you. We empower our users with easy-to-use quantitative tools that allow them to run complex analytics. Traditionally, these type of tasks would take hours or more of piecing together data sets from several different sources into Excel. We provide this in a click of a second. We provide a web front end that you can use yourself, or you can take on the road if you're in a sales role. And also for the power users, we provide an API that can integrate directly into your workflow, or you can white label our tools and analytics onto your website.
So we're going to end it here. There are many more tools that we want to show you that we think bring transparency to exchange-traded funds and empower users to understand costs and risks in their portfolios. We have over a dozen clients currently using ETFLogic, from ETF issuers, traders, hedge funds, portfolio strategists, and corporations. Because even corporations need to understand how ETFs affect their stock price and ownership levels. Our booth is right downstairs. Come by, have a chat, get a free trial of ETFLogic, and don't forget to vote for us. Thank you.